Zombie Apocalypse.
Good day, BTBTED second year students who are taking EDUC 9 Technology for Teaching and Learning 2. This is your course facilitator, Sir Kenji E. Merinciano, and time check, it's already 11:15 in the evening, and today is April 5, 2022. Some of you are wondering why Sir Kenji decided to record a video. Simply because as part of the topic, after the midterm, I need to monitor. I want to know the update of your identified instructional material as a requirement for this course. Class, can you still remember this template? I'll show you. As you can see, I asked you for this past month to identify or to give me the list of what will be your project. So, as we agreed, your requirement for this course is you're going to develop an instructional material. Okay? But first, I ask you to list down. Okay? Plan and think carefully of what will be your IM. Okay? Most of you decided would like to work on a handout or want to come up with a series of PowerPoint presentations of a topic related to your discipline. So most of you are BTBTED students major in electrical technology. Based on my record, as of today, 19 out of 23 or 24 students have already identified their project. Okay, and this past days also, I uploaded a material that has something to do with a progress report. Part of the progress report is your project scope, Gantt chart, and uh, uh, and give us the status or the details of how far have you gone with regards to the material that you are developing. Okay, so here after the midterm, I decided to upload these learning materials, a short perusal on how to come up with a progress report or a status, or tell us the status on the project that you're working on. Okay, so we have here um, the Gantt chart. Gantt chart is like a timeline on the you are going to identify the tasks or activities starting from planning until identification of materials, even the process. Okay, it's a step-by-step process on how you develop your IM. So it has a period. Let's say you started working on your IM in the mid of March or last March. So try to prepare in since the end of classes is until third week of May. Maybe third week of May, the step or the process uh, on how you make, on how you develop from the conceptualization until you come up with a tangible or a material that will be used for instruction in your discipline, which is the electrical technology in the BTBTED program. Okay, the other one is a project scope. Okay, so I just gave you a what do you call this, a an infographic of this material, because later on you're going to prepare a progress report for the development or with your IM using the project scope, Gantt chart, okay, um, and um, and this other material. So what I'm going to do now, class, is I'm going to discuss, present with you the component, uh, an explanation about this uh, tool or tools that are used in presenting your report. Okay, so I will be expecting after I discuss this presentation, you will submit the material about the status of your project using these models or report. Okay, let us first discuss a of what is a project scope. Don't worry, class. To give you a clear picture of this material, I will give you example so that you are guided on how you're going to prepare your progress report. Okay, don't worry. Let us first discuss of the first part, which is the project scope. Okay, a project scope, class, is part of a project planning that involves determining and documenting a specific or a list of specific project goals, deliverable tasks, costs, and deadlines. Here, you're going to make a simple project scope on the IM that you're currently developing. Okay, so I will give you the parts of a project scope. In other words, uh, it is uh, it is a type of report. It is the documentation of a project of this scope is a scope statement or terms of reference, wherein it explains the boundaries of the project, establish responsibilities for each team member, but this time you are working your IM as an individual, and you set up procedures for how complex work will be verified and approved. So, as your course facilitator, I want to know what are the developments and what are the updates of your material. Okay, so that you have now, because project scope can be used in your actual field of work. Maybe if you are a teacher, if you're working on a research, okay, you can prepare a project scope um, to give others an idea of 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 the progress or the development of your research or research undertaking or project that you're working. Okay. During the project, the documentation helps the project team remain focused and on task. This scope statement also provides the team with guidelines. So you set also guidelines for making decisions about change requests during the project. Let's get to know more about this as we go along with the material. Another thing that I am asking you is Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is like a timetable. Okay? It is usually represented in a graphical depiction, as you can see, based from the picture, of a project schedule. Okay? So your Gantt chart or timetable, it's a bar chart. Usually it's represented in the form of a bar, like this one. Somewhat like in a horizontal depiction, but and from the start, okay, from the beginning, let's say from this example, you started January until the end of the day of project elements such as resources, planning, and dependencies. So here, aside from the project scope that you're working on, you're going to prepare a simple Gantt chart or a timetable on what are the things that you need to consider in order for you to come up with a material. Okay, so let's say you started working on your IM March. So March, what have you do? Why? What have you do? I'm sorry for the term. What have you done? So let's say your plan is to decide and do some research about the type of IM. Okay, and as you go along, you you maybe you conduct a survey, or let's say you prepare a material. You already identified who will be your target audience or learners, or what specific IMs are you going to develop. So it's a step by step process until such time you're able to accomplish the project. Actually, Gantt chart is a systematic plan, okay, on how you uh, achieve a specific task or assignments, and you can use this after you graduated. Maybe you are working in a company. Project timeline is very vital. It's very important um, to for them, and able to, so that you are guided and there is a plan already on what to do and you are guided. So maybe uh, through Gantt chart or timetable, you can be able to beat the deadline, or um, accomplish the project or task the soonest possible time. In my subject, one of my subject that I've been handling is research. Research is the timetable plays an important role on the task. The students were given tasks or task activities on for them on what to do uh, in preparation with the manuscript or the development of their prototype. So you can use this in research, but uh, in the context of TTL, or Technology for Teaching and Learning 2, aside from the project scope, you're going to prepare a Gantt chart or a timetable. Okay? So, since I mentioned uh, these two material, let us first discuss what is a progress report. Okay? When we say progress report, it is a report in which you are updating information about the project. So that's the rationale. That's the reason behind, since some of you are not cooperating. Okay? I told you several times to please identify your IM, because later on you're going to use that in the presentation of your progress report. Okay? Progress report is part of monitoring your IM project. Okay? Uh, it is it make it possible for management and clients to stay informed about a project and to change or adjust assignments, schedules, and budget. So class, in the presentation of the progress report, um, it doesn't necessarily mean you're already finished. I just want to know the real score. Maybe some of you, next meeting perhaps, are still on the planning stage. Okay. By this time, class, I need to see your output. Okay. Whether finished or unfinished, I need to know the development. Okay. And I want to give emphasis on progress report, project scope, as well as um, Gantt chart or timetable. Because later on, you will apply this in the future. Right? Progress report gives an overview to either a supervisor, a manager, a team leader, a colleague, or a client on the real score or the status of your project, or the milestone, or how far have you gone, or the achievement on how you prepare from planning until to the development, until you're able to come up with your material. As I've said, you cannot come up with an IM overnight, or just a single day, or uh, for how many. It takes time, really. It takes time, so it needs a careful planning. Okay. So you need these tools to meet the target, to beat the deadline, to meet the target, and be able to submit on time, and to come up with a good quality of your material. So aside from that, progress report is being used to know the responsibilities of a team leader, what are the issues or problems encountered while you are developing your material. Okay, so that is what we meant by progress report. But here, in the context of ETL2, you're going to tell us the situation or or the development of your material and even the problems that you encounter. Okay, so what are the factors or experiences you encountered while you are working on your IM? Okay. So here's the format that you're going to do, and you're going to present that next meeting, which is on um, on Monday. Okay, Monday, April 11. Okay, I want to know the real score of your IM. So first, the project title. So tell us the name of your material. Let's say uh, your material is all about uh, developing um, an activity workbook for development of workbook for basic troubleshooting in electronics. So that is your title, or it could be um, various or different wiring diagrams in electricity. So that will form part of your title. So and you can consider this, but these are, I think, tentative or working title, but give us a complete details of your project. Okay, so let's say you want to come up with printed handouts on electrical safety. Okay? So that will be your title of your IM project or ICT based project. Then second is the project description. So here, tell us about what type of IM you are developing and what is its purpose, what subject are going to apply it, what subject is it intended for, or who will be the target learners. So tell us about uh, the that is what we meant by describing or the description of your IM. So the third part is I want to know the objective. Okay. Why do you want uh, uh, what is your purpose? Okay. What is your purpose of why you're going to develop your IM? Okay, tell us what is your objective. Okay, what is your objective in um, in coming up uh, with your IM? Okay, so what is your goal? What is your purpose? Okay, the fourth part of the project scope is talks about the project beneficiaries. Meaning to say, uh, this pertains to your target learners or who will be your students. Let's say you want to develop uh, modules, a module on basic tools and equipment for grade 11 students. So, so project beneficiaries pertains to persons or people or clients who will be given an opportunity to use or adapt or or the beneficiaries who pertains to who will benefit with your IM. The fifth one class is the Gantt chart. Based on what presented a while ago, Gantt chart is your timetable. Okay, it can be also termed as project timeline. So that's the fifth part that I'll be requiring you to present uh, during the progress report meeting. Okay. The sixth one is the project development process. I repeat, class, these are the template. Okay, these are the things that you're going to accomplish. Okay? A simple narrative or a simple detail of your project scope as part of the monitoring and knowing the status of your IM project. Kasi class, I noticed some of your classmates are not cooperating. I've given you, we started that presentation of your identified IM last February, mid-February or first week of March, if I can still remember. But up to this time, some of you are not submitting their working title. So as part of this requirement, you need to present, okay, a progress report of your IM. Okay? The sixth part is project development process. So tell us the step by step on how um, you are working on your IM. Okay? Um, you can use the ADI model. If you can still remember class, I prepared a video tutorial about this instructional model, the ADI, which includes 5 phases or stages. We have the analyze, design, develop. What else? Let's go back. Analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. Okay? You can use the ADI model for the purpose of presenting the the the, the process on how you are working on your IM. But again, let me clear. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are done with your IM. Just tell us the status, okay? Or how far have you gone for working on it? So you can also include documentations or pictures that will serve as a proof or evidence on the or regarding the process on how you develop your IM. So for this time, uh, I want to see project title until project development process on Monday. Okay. Uh, just give us a details on it. Okay. I need again class. I need to see the status of your project. Okay. So I need your presence on Monday. Failure to present your material on Monday, I'll be asking you to prepare a, a video uh, presenting the the 6 components of your project scope. So you have to choose. Right? It's either you will present your output or you're going to record a video and present or that shows the development based on the 6 components. I repeat, you're going to come up with a project scope, okay, from which composed or comprised of project title, project description, project objectives, beneficiaries, timeline, and the development process. The final project output and evaluation and feedback is not included in your project scope. Will not be included in your project scope. I hope it's clear to you, class. To give you a clear picture, going back, to give you a clear picture, I will be giving you sample. An example, I mean. Again, for your project scope, the final project and project evaluation are not included or will not be included in your project scope presentation. Okay? Let's proceed. So here is an example of a project timeline. Okay? So let us. So again, class, you're going to present the progress report of your IM. So here's an example as your guide. Don't worry, I'll be uploading this material to our classroom. So the project title here is about dressmaking, carry out body measurements and calculation. Tell us here in the next part of the scope is the description of the project. So you have to discuss or explain to us uh, the it could be an introduction. Let's say what is dressmaking. Why is it important to take correct measurement and making a custom-made dress based on the example. Okay, so tell us. Feel free to describe. Let's say you want to discuss the importance of the tools and equipment used in electricity and electronics, or what are the different electronic devices. As an electrical students or electronic students, why is there a need for us to understand, to comprehend, to have a background of these tools and equipment, circuits and devices? Okay. The next part is the project objective. Okay. So here, based on the given example, um, we must consider that expected results may be of different order. We must first take into consideration um, what is your goal? Why did you come up with this material? So, for example, you want to you want to teach or to develop a material that has something to do with basic tools and equipment. The your first objective is to identify the different tools and equipment used in electronics or electrical technology. Second, um, you want to uh, uh, use tools, let your students use or apply the tools and equipment properly, and or handle with care and consider the safety practices. So so it's up to you, okay, on what will be your objective, why you come up with this IM. Okay? The fourth part class is the beneficiaries, meaning to say who will benefit from this project scope or the material that you're working on. So based on example, the target beneficiaries of the project are the dressmakers and all the students taking course dressmaking, or the BTB or the TPET student. So you can consider this. You can what I mean. You can based on the given sample, you have to identify who will be the beneficiaries or who will use or adopt your learning material or IM. And here's an example of a Gantt chart or the timetable. So she started with planning, develop a project proposal, present a status report of project proposal, development of instructional materials, implementation. So it's up for you to decide. Try to organize yourself, um, plan on what are the things you need to consider. What are the steps to be taken? Starting from planning, developing, and um, documenting, and then until such time you were able to come up with a an IM. Okay, and the sixth or the last part that I'll be asking you is the project development process. Here, you can adapt different instructional models or methods. You can use the Assure, the added model. Okay, uh, since I already presented to you, can principle of instruction by Peril. So you can adapt the models or the design, instructional design. If you can still remember the materials that I posted in our class. So here, based on the sample, the student used the ADDI method. So I will send you this material for you to study and review. And so you are guided on what material, on what to do next meeting. When I say next meeting, that will be on next week, um, Monday, April 11. Okay, so um, if you class, okay, class, if you still have questions or clarifications about the progress report, feel free to message me. Again, you need to accomplish this scope. So you have at least a 4 or 5 days to prepare. So there's no excuse, okay, on Monday that you're not able to present to us your project scope. So again, class, if you have questions or clarifications, feel free to message me. Okay. So if you want again to explain about the different models or project scope, I can show another. I can present another video. Okay? Just message me if these things are not clear to you. So class, thank you for listening and thank you for your time. Keep safe and good luck to your presentation on April 11th. Good night.